Okay. We're gonna put a 20-point gap to work on. We opened at 73.90. About a 29 point straddle. And the gamma chart looks a little bit funny right now. I think the calcs are a little off. CPI was pretty hot, or it came in quite warm. Doesn't look like a good sign for inflation or stagflation. You got a lot of vol selling here. They're trying to hold it within 72.20s to like 75.10s. They're harvesting premium. Charm is in the suppressive section. NQ shorts from 29.250. 29.250. Looks like we may have a meltdown today. Yeah, I think everyone, like Alma Centroid is way down there. Oh, I did not adjust the downside pivot, did I? Downside 72.90. So I don't think we're gonna head all the way down there. Downside target is way below that. Okay, that's better. Yeah, so yesterday I wanted this move. I wanted to move to about here, 73.80-ish. It looks like we can do the gap fill today. The gap fill from Thursday to Friday. The gap up. It's possible. Okay, now the charm chart is starting to look much better. Or the gamma chart, sorry. Yeah, CPI was pretty bad news. I don't think we're gonna have like some crazy move like down uncontrolled. But 73.30s seems like a great target. Yeah, the centroid's way down there, basically where the gap fill is from Thursday to Friday. We also have a gap down today of about 20 points. YM is already moving down quick. NQ is trying to hold us up here. Yeah, one of the things that Alma mentioned today on her daily report, she said market's reaction was muted to CPI. The bond market didn't really react either. Well, US 10-year yields is up to 4.45, and it looks like it's ready for a breakout here. US 2-year yield already at 4%. So US 2-year yield is normally a good proxy for the federal fund rate. So I guess what the FOMC uses for the overnight lending rate. And I believe currently the FOMC's federal fund rate is between 3.5 and 3.75, because they always set a 25 bips range. And the US 2-year yield gives us a general idea as to whether or not they are lagging behind or are ahead. And currently, it looks like the US 2-year yield is sitting at around 4%. So it would imply that a rate hike may start to get priced in at some point this year. The Trump administration also released a record amount of SPRs, more than what the Biden administration had initially released previously. And obviously they're doing it to make sure that oil stays low. So we're basically, the light crude oil WTI is hanging at around $101 right now. I believe its high is 120 and its low is about 90. So the Trump administration is really trying to control the inflation narrative while this conflict with Iran continues. But if they continue releasing the SPRs, the strategic petroleum reserves, at the current rate, they'll run out of reserves by September. Yeah, NQ is pushing up here. So there's just some things that seem to be converging And it looks like it could be relatively bad macro news, if you will, that's starting to converge towards that seasonally weak period of August, September. Yeah, so Alma was saying the market's reaction was muted. Volatility and Volma are heavily shorted, holding the market, creating a fake risk on environment for the algos. So algos are loving this environment for the most part, so they can stay risk on. Like CTAs are really just momentum chasers. And if you really think about it, so are vol control funds. They allocate based off of not so much momentum, but when vol is down, they allocate. Yeah, uncorrelated. It's brutal. $73.80. What was the low there? $73.76. $73.76. Look at the daily gamma chart. Not seeing anything. See, a lot of times when I'm looking at the gamma chart, there's a negative gamma pocket that doesn't really kick in until 2 p.m. But the price action still respects the negative gamma levels. And for instance, if you draw a line here where the 0 gamma kind of converges at the end of the day, let's say 73.92, it was a little bit higher initially, and then 73.75, like the low today has so far been 73.76, and the high today has been 73.94. So we've been kind of just bouncing around this negative gamma influence based off of the end of day levels. Shorts are 74.30. I would love us to go a little higher. Actually, I pray that we go a little higher. I would love 74.27. Yeah, 74.30 would be perfect. Anywhere between 74.25 to 74.30 would work well for me from a low volume node perspective. But it really doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Let me see what NQs look like. So NQ hit a high volume node there and pretty much rejected a little. YM is still headed down. Yeah, it really doesn't look like we're gonna get it. That was right off of VWAP on ES. Yeah, the guys that trade volume profile, they're going. it, he went long off the lows, so he was long at about 29,150 on NQ, collected about 150 points. And then yeah, he basically exited value area high, playing the value area, the sessions value area levels. That 9 o'clock high on ES is also the value area high. Sorry, not the value area high. It's a high volume node or high value node, HVN. I got nothing so far, nothing pre-market. I was biased down, but if there's no entry, then nothing. Then I can't do anything. Pivot is a weak reversion line. Upside target is also a reversion target with main margin of error to 7460. All right. Android is the most sticky and magnetic zone, all coinciding with the downside pivot. Oh, I see. Downside pivot. The centroid is the same. Downside target is 7290. A very interesting long. I don't think I would have been able to take the value area low long on the session, especially at this 29,150 where the guy picked it up. YM hit its previous day low. And could potentially bounce up here. Let's see. It's at least stalling. SPX bounce off 73.75. We're still respecting this end of day gamma influence. I think it was you that mentioned deep charts. Was it you? I think it was. Yeah, deep charts. And I think, if I remember correctly, last week they were promoting their deep DOM. It was actually pretty cool to see. I think it's very similar to Bookmap. But they're selling like their platform, obviously. Kind of sucks because like you still have to pay for data, or I think they were saying that you can use prop firm data to populate deep DOM. Not certain though, but it's just something if you like that stuff. But I do think that the deep charts, because the guy who created it was that Italian Robbins Cup guy. He does very well scalping, but he is just he is a scalper, right? And it's basically everything volume related, order flow related that he uses. Looks like a really neat tool. If it wasn't so pricey, I would probably give it a shot. Yeah, YM stalling here. NQ starting to pick up the slack to the downside. There's like nothing here. This should be a run towards 73.55, 73.45 on SPX. Yes, Fabio Valentini, that guy. Yeah, that platform looks pretty good. I just kind of wish they like, I don't recall if they do any like 7-day trial, but I also don't think it's something that I can only spend 7 days with and feel the effects of it. Have you ever heard of Ray Dalio's book called The Big Debt Crisis? Nice. Yeah. His videos are pretty good, and I think they're like the cartoon videos, right? Or they're like a drawing video that basically explains the debt cycle. But yeah, his videos are pretty good. Like you don't even have to read the book in theory. But I believe it's like a 30-minute long video that explains the entire debt cycle. Which like I remember reading the book. I'm buying and reading the book back in like 2018 or something, and it was such a great read. It was more like a textbook actually, and it it just became so relevant as like yes, the U.S. is starting to get challenged by Chinese power, and we're becoming more multipolar in terms of currencies. I was watching Vol Signals earlier this morning while he was doing his morning meeting, and he too was also biased down towards that 70 under 73.30. But yeah, the perfect setup for me probably would have been the gap fill, um, like the morning gap fill, and then a rundown after 10. But instead, we kind of held that gap. We left that gap open, and we're running towards filling that Thursday to Friday gap of last week. And one of the things that Alma also said was um, at the end of her daily article, she said, all in all, inflation print is very bad and reflects the coming stagflationary wave. Meanwhile, market positioning is all about making bears exhausted, squeezing out their positions to juice up supportive liquidity so big boys can scale out of these highs. An economy is framed as one big, beautiful economy, as Trump says. Watching for longs on NQ? Yeah, that's pretty good. I would have, oh man, I would have loved for the previous day low to sweep on ES there, but didn't get it. Instead, you got like a very nice NQ bounce off of its low of day. Off the 8:30 news candle, actually. Are you short there or long? Or like I just saw your message. Oh, you jumped in a little early. I see, I see. Short trade. Oh, if it's a short trade, you should be winning right now, no? I'm having a hard time thinking that we're going to head up to fill that gap above. Just not seeing it. On ES. Or SPX, I should say. I really like the downside too. Oh, there's your long. Long trade. Okay, okay. If Koshik, if you feel like it adds pressure to you to take a trade and let me know, don't worry about it. You don't have to let me know. Like sometimes it could mess with your psyche. That 5-minute candle was pretty nice on ES. You can always tell me after the trade. It's perfectly fine with me. I just find that there's so many things in trading that can mess with your psyche, and sometimes you won't even realize it. So watching for longs on NQ. Yeah, I really like that 5-minute close on ES. I hate that we didn't sweep the previous day low. That's what really bothers me. But that was a good 5-minute sweep. I want to see it run back towards like 74.05 ES. I got no trades here. A great 5-minute close on ES. Yeah, I do like this trade a lot better. Mainly because it was after the 5-minute close on ES. You're scalping for the highs though, eh? Like that would be the 945 highs. 945. See, for ES, I wanted to see us run towards 74.05. and then maybe a short from there. The POC or NQ is sitting around 212, 29,212. VWAP at 29,228. But yours is showing. I wonder if yours is showing different. I'm not sure if your chart is showing VWAP or not. Our ES is trying to push here, especially with YM pushing up. YM, after it did the previous day low sweep, it did like a high volume termination candle at 9:45, and then it's been up ever since. Oh, that's odd. Interesting. Not going to break even on this too. They're testing out the let it ride a little longer, eh? Right, so that's I think it hit the ES level that I was looking for. This is a low volume node. I kind of want to see how it reacts here on ES. And a nice push up here, Koshik. Pretty good. Are you taking profit at multiple spots? Or you're going straight for the 945 highs. Interesting. You have multiple positions though, right? Okay, this is the moment of truth. On ES. Yeah, not bad at all. Yeah, this is the ES low value node here. It could just be like a slight rejection. I don't know if it's just like the top and then further down move. Interesting reaction here. Something's going on. Really back and forth. Apparently Trump speaks at 11. It could also stall here at the low value node, and fill it in essentially. Nope, further up. Good trade, good trade. Like, I would probably take one off here. Mainly because it's POC on NQ and VWAP pretty much. And then you can let the others run. Yeah, the risk is only 250, you're saying, which is not bad. Really good. But you should be up like 600 right now, right? There's VWAP, the official VWAP top. 500? Okay. Yeah, if you take one off here, what would that do to your risk? I guess it will lower it slightly. By like what, 175? Yeah, 160. But your full risk is 250. Okay. A little bit of divergence occurring here. I tried a short here, but I'm not risking much. $23. 30 points. I feel like I'm going against the grain here. Interesting divergence between ES and NQ there. The highs on the 5-minute. SPX, that was a high of 73.85, and those the large negative dealer strikes. So it should experience some sort of rejection here, but the question is, Will it continue up, or is this a continuation down? Here, 60. YM's pulling down, but NQ's kind of like holding everything here. I trail my stop loss just in case this continues going up. That's a good rejection so far. Yeah, I'm not certain. I want to think the draw is down, but like the path of least resistance is down, mainly because charm's a little higher than it should be, so it's suppressive. You got that big level at 73.80, 73.85, acting as like this resistance cluster. 73.80, let me double check. I also think what I'm doing is analysis paralysis, but 73.85, it is 4,000 positions are customer long puts, so they're betting on the downside. But the 73.85 is 1,600 long calls by customers. As a volume imbalance on the 5-minute or NQ. Bounced off of it there. I liked your long. Your long was really good. I didn't even see, well, it wasn't until like I saw the overnight low sweep and the high volume candle at 10 on NQ 5-minute chart, and then it went right to VWAP and POC, so it was good. No, you to me you had a great trade. It was 2R already, right? I was a little biased down. I was more biased down than biased up, which is the reason why I was waiting for a short to come into play. But these moves have been they've been doing like more than 50% retracements. So like I'm kind of scared to like, or not scared, but I don't want to move to break even if I believe in the run towards 73.80 on ES. But to me, you had a great trade. I think that was really good. I'm analyzing it right now from a 5-minute chart perspective, and I thought it was great. The only thing was like probably the partial take profit. I'm not one to try to like, you know, your trade style better than anyone else. So I had hinted at maybe taking some partials at the POC, mainly because that's like a high probability target. But if it's not your style, then like if it's not your strategy, and if it's not your style, then it's not good. It's my style, right? For the POC take profit. The 60. Okay, I'm out there for 21 points on ES. That happens to also be the straddle low. I wish I took more though. It is what it is. But your trade was good. I think where you took the trade was really good. Your risk was only 250, which is pretty good. That means you had a really good entry. And you got 2R out of that trade. And for someone with I think you were saying your average is about 45%, right? The 45%, 2R, it'll just like knock it out of the water, right? But you can always for that, something like that, like you can always trim too. So like if you trim like half off, risk off type of thing, but I recognize you only have 3 positions. Anyways, you'll find what works for you. I'm still exploring what works for me, so. One thing that was interesting for all signals this morning, he had recommended a put spread. I know you can't really trade put spreads right now, but just for like an educational purpose. Well, either a pin or a put spread. With the pin, I believe it's a butterfly. You call it a put fly, and it's centered at 73.50. Has great risk rewards because right now, prior to market open, actually at around like 9:40, it was worth $2.80 for a premium. So that would be about $280. If it paid out max, which is at 73.50 towards the end of the day, your $2.80 turns into $25, which is pretty awesome. It's like almost a 10x gain from 280 premium, which is $280 to $25 in premium. Assuming that we head down, of course. But right now, we're sitting at 73.56.55. You'd probably already double up on that put fly. So it's like a low cost way. So like, remember how you said your risk was 250 USD this morning for your long play? That put fly to 73.50 was only 280 USD risk, with the potential to make 2,500 per position, which is insane. Like the risk reward, the asymmetry or the convexity of playing a trade like that is it's definitely worth it. And that's the kind of things that Vol Signals tries to bestow on us. Yeah, that's, to me, your trade was really good. But using, I guess it would be, the results of the trade would have been good for me had I entered it, because I probably would have taken a lot of my profits at the POC and the VWAP. Only because I was biased down, so it would be like a scalp trade, you know? But it was a crazy entry. I wish I seen it. Like when you entered it, I guess I could have entered it, but I didn't do my analysis in time. I didn't read the charts in time. And the giveaway for me on why I entered was, it was sitting around that 74.05 area, plus minus 1 point, and VWAP was there, and we also did a SMT divergence between ES and NQ on the 5 minutes. Like 1020 was the high on NQ, the high candle on NQ, and then 1015 was the high candle on ES. But I definitely should have entered that with you, because I don't know if you were looking at the 5 minute, but the 5 minute for me, the 10 o'clock candle was high volume. The 10 o'clock candle on ES also had shown like a doji pattern. a doji candle, sorry. And it just kind of worked. It worked really well. I definitely should have taken that scalp with you. And I was looking for 73.80 because it was a low volume node. But I definitely should have entered that. I should have entered it on more accounts. I only took it on the one. I use Replicanto or NinjaTrader. It's specific to NinjaTrader, and I think some dude built it. Seems like the most reliable one that I've used so far. I actually haven't used many others because this has been so reliable. I just wanted to show you a snapshot of what. Oh, snapshot of kind of like what I saw, and I know there's a lot of drawings here because my chart's a mess. It has a lot of different low volume node or different volume profiles, but this one here captures what I saw, and you can kind of see this like low value node here that's kind of highlighted in green. And I think it's a Lux Algo indicator that shows it, but regardless, you don't need that. You don't need that specific indicator as long as you have your volume profiles up. But yeah, I was looking for, I think leading up to it, I was like, hey, yeah, I'm seeing like something around 74.05. There's a low volume node around there, so we got to watch out, see how it reacts. And then once it did the SMT and a touch of VWAP, made a lot of sense. And the 5-minute close made a lot of sense for me to take the short, with the 5-minute candle high being the stop. And then 73.80, you can't really see it on the 15-minute chart, but 73.80 was showing a really nice low volume node, pretty close to it anyways, which is why that was going to be my next exit. And also because the volume, oh sorry, not the volume, the options positioning, the cluster kind of like started at 73.50, so I kind of wanted to make sure I closed before 73.50. Like 73.55 would have been my natural point of closure, just if I wanted to avoid any bounces. Hey, Koshik, I'll send you a link to the NinjaTrader, Flowbots or Replicanto trade copier. Honestly, your first entry was technically fine too. Assuming that you had a stop loss somewhere well below the candle, so you didn't get swept out. Like I find that happens to me quite often, where I get where it kind of just sweeps my stop loss and then it goes up after that. So like a lot of the guys that that trade volume profile, they kind of set a fixed stop loss of like maybe, let's say, 50 points. And then they would add if it goes a little bit lower. So if you got an entry at, I don't remember your entry, let's say 29,120 from that 30-second chart off 10 o'clock. Like if you held a 50-point stop loss, you would have been okay technically, but not all the time will you be okay. So it's just confirmation bias for this time, but you'll figure it out, because I find that a lot of the NQ volume profile trader dudes, they just let their trade run a little, because volume profile isn't that accurate, especially if you're not using other entry models like candle patterns and stuff like that, right? Or candlesticks. Actually, nothing is really that accurate. Not pinpoint accuracy anyways. But they would have entered off of the sweep, and the sweep would have been low of 29,113. 29,113. Oh, so if, for instance, you have two separate computers, that'll be your second machine. Your first machine, so it identifies with like your computer, because each NinjaTrader generates a machine ID, and you have to enter a machine ID in order to get your code, your key code from Replicanto, and you can only run one at a time, basically. And it technically only works on desktop. So for instance, if you decide to leave your computer on and your copy trader is on, like basically acting as your own server, for instance, and you take a trade on, I don't know, let's say TradingView, on that same account that that is being followed, then your copy trader will still execute on your behalf, even though you're taking the trade on your phone and you're traveling somewhere. But your computer needs to be on and running NinjaTrader and Replicanto at the same time in order for that to work. NinjaTrader, you can't use NinjaTrader with in India. Oh yeah, you use a Mac. Oh, okay, sorry. What kind of Mac do you have? Is it running on the M chips? Oh, M1, nice. Yeah, I got one. My wife has an M1 too, and it works so well. That's what I was using to do video editing, because it's like unmatched. It's so good. But yeah, you'll need that. Shoot, I don't even know what they call it on a Mac, but it basically like simulates a Windows environment on a Mac. It'll destroy your battery though. Yeah, parallel. Yeah, that's it. I know that Forest guy, he was getting sponsored by some company to do a virtual machine, and it's basically like renting out computing power, and he had run NinjaTrader on that virtual machine or on that server, and pays a monthly fee, and he also had Replicanto on it, so he can technically trade from anywhere, and the computer's always on and never turns off because it's yeah, it's a virtual machine. I don't even know the cost of it, but if you have like an old laptop sitting around, like I have like an old Dell laptop that's sitting around, and I was using that to trade with NinjaTrader. And like NinjaTrader doesn't use that many resources, which is a great thing. And NinjaTrader works on it. Like I think it's a 2014, 2015 model computer. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, and then there's one trade copier that's what are they? I think it's like cloud based, I believe. I heard that one was okay too, but I have no personal experience with it. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's kind of crazy because um like that custom PC, you're gonna end up running like 4 monitors. Like I have at least like I'm gonna say 20 charts up. 20 charts. Like I have a 4x2 on one of my charts that shows 4 different time frames on ES: 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, and 1 hour on ES, and then at the bottom it's also 4 NQs of the same thing. And then I also track SPX and YM on the 5 minute and 15 minute. I track VIX. I watch crude and gold just for kicks. Yeah, my chart is not as clean as what you see. I had to do a clean version for the live trading or just live streaming version. I'm still a little mad that I didn't take the trade on this account. And one laptop and an external monitor. I think most people are good with just 2 monitors. Like I definitely don't think you need 4. But a lot of these monitors, like I got like on sale, or they were really old monitors that I've had like from ages ago. So I just started connecting them, and then someone gave away a monitor on my street. So I was like, hey, I'll take that monitor off of you if you're gonna scrap it. That's the only reason why I run 4 monitors. Otherwise, I would have only had 2 also. Oh, you use the other one for live stream? Hey, you should do that on your phone. So I watch most of my live streams on like a phone or a tablet or something. Because like, are you for the stream? Are you actually watching the um, options depth charts? Oh, I see. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know if there's an easier way to chat. Man, once you start the corp and account open at in Singapore, you're gonna be able to even trade options. So this is the it says gamma exposure by strikes, and it's the aggregate gamma exposure. Okay, I see. Like to me, this is naive gex. It's similar to GexBot that you were using, but it ultimately depends. Like normally when people trade Gex, they trade it because it's a dealer hedging thing. Like they trade it because they think there's edge from a dealer hedging perspective. And Vol Signals was basically the one that said, hey, yeah, I can tell you right now, if you're using it because if you're using GEX because it's a dealer hedging flow, it gives you a clue as to where dealers like to hedge or have to hedge, then you're essentially using GEX, the wrong GEX. You're using naive GEX. Which is why I started using OptionsDepth when I learned about it through Vol Signals. And I think Chem Karsan was the other one. But thankfully, Vol Signals kind of exposed everything. Like, he basically exposed Spot Gamma too, because Spot Gamma pretty much was the exact same thing. He just used naive GEX and drew lines that are similar to the other services like GexBot, Gamma Edge, or there's a few other ones out there. And then once OptionsDepth came out, that's when Spot Gamma put in some work and then actually developed their dealer hedging flows version of it. All right, I think I'm gonna have to tap out a little early today. Got some other obligations. So I'm gonna cut off the stream here, and I'll be back tomorrow. And Thursday, I'll be off. All right, see you later, Koshik. My bias is still downwards towards the 70 30 70 40 73 30 and 73 40 gap fill. I think that's the bias for me, but I'm not holding any positions or anything right now. So all right, take care, Koshik.